Welcome to the Lifestyle You podcast. I'm your host and health and fitness coach, Jenna Altman, and I'm so glad that you're here. Health and fitness don't have to be that complicated. Do you want to achieve a body you're proud of, gain physical and mental energy, and grow your confidence without giving up date night with your partner or starving yourself? The Lifestyle You podcast will provide you with the tools that you need to make your health and fitness fit into your lifestyle, not the other way around. The stories, lessons, and actionable takeaways from original episodes and guest interviews on this podcast will not only allow you to break through those limiting fears and beliefs, but also find freedom and confidence in the way that you move and fuel your body so that you can live your strongest, healthiest, and happiest life. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to take a minute to introduce you to the Summer Flex training program. This is a brand new 8-week fitness coaching program for high-achieving women like you who want to incorporate more flexibility, create more consistency, and get stronger, leaner, and more athletic with quick and effective workouts. The Summer Flex training program was designed to help you create more flexibility in your movement routine while juggling the beach trips, time off, and holidays. This program will be launching in June, but it is really important that you are signed up for the waitlist because this is where I am going to have early access, early details, as well as exclusive bonuses. So make sure that you are signed up. I cannot wait to get stronger with you this summer. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lifestyle You podcast. Today, we are going to be chatting about my top 5 tips for getting started in strength training. So maybe by now you've listened to the episode as to why you should be strength training. And so I wanted to kind of follow that up, complement that with this episode. So that way, if you are getting started with strength training, you will have a game plan to get you going. So number 1 is going to be taking things at your own pace. So it can be really overwhelming to start something for the first time, and it's really easy to start to compare yourself to others in the game. But it's really important to remember that your day 1 is not the same as somebody else's day 365. So really remembering to take things at your own pace, incorporating something that feels good to you. If you can only get 1 or 2 strength trainings in per week, that's perfectly fine. Find something that you can consistently commit to, and then remember that this is your journey and no one else's. Tip number 2, make a plan. So hire a coach, follow a program, go in with a game plan. This is an essential step in order to optimize your time in the gym, ensure you're incorporating the fundamental movement patterns, and minimizing injuries. If you are not taking a plan in with you, you are going to be wasting time in the gym. You are going to be maybe not moving correctly. You might be injuring yourself. You might be just not enjoying it or seeing progress. So this is why it's so important to hire a trusted coach or even follow a good program from a trusted coach, because that will give you the game plan and the map that you need in order to follow to see progress. Tip number 3, perfect your fundamental movement patterns prior to adding any weights. Now, I don't really have to say this too much to females because a lot of the time I need to push you guys to lift heavier, but sometimes we can get a little ahead of ourselves and start to get a little too confident too quickly before we actually have solidified our movement pattern. So we never want to add any load or any weights to anything that we are not moving correctly in. So make sure that your squat looks good. Make sure that your deadlift looks good. Make sure that your any form of row looks good. Make sure that you're pressing overhead safely. Make sure that you have all of these fundamentals engaged and properly aligned prior to adding load to them. So really taking the time to learn how the movement should be executed, take videos of yourself to check your form, and honestly, be patient. This will take time. Tip number 4, grab an accountability buddy. So this is not only helpful to keep you accountable, and as we know, accountability can be so helpful and so impactful on our journeys. But not only is it helpful for that, but also because we may have some uncomfortable feelings around being one of the few women in the weight room. And yes, this is definitely changing these days. And I have seen a lot of women making their way over into that section. But a lot of the time, there still is a lot of nervousness or uncomfortableness around entering into that space. And I want you to know that number one, you deserve to be there just as much as any other person in there. And number two, it will get more comfortable over time. Put your headphones in, focus on you, do what you need to do, and then get out. You can take up space there. You can be a part of that weight room, and I want you to know that and remember that. But the accountability buddy will be really helpful because if you have another girl that you are entering there with, it'll just feel a little bit more comfortable. Tip number 5, prioritize recovery from the start. So honestly, this is something that can be really easy to skimp out on in the beginning if you aren't lifting quite heavy yet. But if I could go back and tell myself anything, it would be to really make sure that I was prioritizing recovery from the beginning. Because now, as I've been lifting for years, I'm experiencing some injuries. I am having to go back and perfect some of my movement patterns. And I would have rather have gotten all of that work done up front and incorporated a consistent mobility routine, stretching routine, as opposed to now that I'm going back and adding it in. So highly recommend that. Do not wait for your first injury in order to start doing these things because they're so important, not only for your progress that you're making in the gym, but also all of the tension that's being put on your body. It's really important to mitigate that as a result of these stretching, foam rolling, resting, gentle yoga. And it's definitely something that you'll want to be part of your routine down the road. So definitely build that habit as soon as you can. So these are my top 5 tips for getting started in strength training. And if you are someone who is new to strength training, or you're just looking to get maybe some workouts that you can do in supplement to what you're already doing, I have created a 3-day training program for you to incorporate, and that will be available for download in the show notes. So make sure that you go and check that out. Definitely download that. It's a great resource for you if you're someone who travels for work, if you're someone who travels a lot and wants to have some more body weight workouts that you can optimize in terms of hotel gyms, or even if you're just doing body weight, it will work perfectly for that. And I would love to have you guys there. So head on over to the show notes, go ahead, click that link, and definitely make sure to let me know what you think and how they go for you. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for listening to the Lifestyle You podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a 5-star rating and review to help others discover the magic we're creating together. If there's someone in your life who could benefit from listening to this episode, be sure to forward it along to them. You can also follow me on Instagram at Jenna Ray Altman for more helpful content, resources, and good vibes. As always, thank you so much for being here.